We're back again. We named our podcast, named it Anime Maximum. That could change. Right, Steven?
Yeah, it could.
That could change.
All right, everyone.
We're not set in stone. But welcome back to the 9th Sherlock R&D. I'm super excited.
Yeah. And the episode title is...
Oh yeah, so this episode is called That Woman's Pad.
Which I don't understand what's that title for.
I mean, I assumed it was going like pad as in like place of like living.
Oh, I was thinking like of an iPad.
No, I think it's like place of like residence.
Oh, okay.
Because of like what happens in this episode.
Yeah.
She moves pads.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's what I assumed.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
This episode's worth talking about, so I guess you can start.
Yeah, there's a lot to this one. Alright. Let's start. So this episode starts like right where the last episode ended. So it starts with what?
No, I'm gonna say it as every episode.
Yeah, as every episode does. Actually, that's incorrect. Not every episode of every show ends where the last episode left off.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Sometimes time passes. Rude.
Sorry.
I meant more like it immediately picks up where the last episode ended. Where they're all a pipe cat. Well, not all. Some of them are a pipe cat. And Miss Hudson is comforting Irene. And Sherlock, Watson, Kyogoku, Miss Hudson, and Irene are sitting around a table in the room where they usually talk about, like, oh, this is the case. Because it's got that fancy picture of Miss Hudson. Which I would love to also see her dressed like that someday. That would be my dream in life right now. But Watson says Irene needs to hide because Jack is after her life now. And Kyogoku offers to be her bodyguard, and he says that he'll protect her, and Sherlock throws Agatha's severed ear at Kyogoku. And then he starts screaming because blood.
Oh god, it's hard not to say anything.
No. He starts screaming because of blood. And then Sherlock is kind of just like, oh, she's fine on her own.
Can I say something?
Yes.
It's like, spoiler alert, this is why I did not
think... yeah, no, this is why I didn't believe when they try and do the thing in the next episode.
Yes.
This is specifically why... No, and the, like, beginning episode. I was like, I don't believe this at all. This is not a good, like, trick. It didn't work.
Accurate demonstration. You're scared of blood. There's no way now.
Yeah. And it's not even, like, fresh blood.
I know.
Assumedly, it's, like, dried. So, yeah, Kyogoku is screaming. And Sherlock's like, Irene is fine on her own. And then Miss Hudson says, ooh, she should stay with you. And so Sherlock starts to freak out. And just kind of in the background for a while is like mumbling and being a weirdo. And Watson's like, oh, is he really going to be like a good bodyguard? And Miss Hudson's like, ooh, Sherlock is a master of Baritsu. And he's like, oh, is that strong? And Kyogoku pulls out like a book that's like, oh, it's the strongest, I think.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it is. If Sherlock's strong or not is questionable.
Oh yeah, I remember they try to chalk up like he's a good bodyguard.
Or like he could be a good bodyguard. He'd be a better bodyguard than Kyogoku.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Kyogoku's scared of blood. But Kyogoku ends up asking what the egg from the note refers to. And Sherlock immediately stops freaking out and says, oh, it's the USB. And then he tells everyone that he gave Moreland a fake drive. So everyone now is aware that Moreland does not have the real drive.
Yeah.
And then...
I think that was mentioned earlier, but they mentioned it again here.
I don't think everyone knew.
Oh.
Like, Irene and Watson knew, but I don't think, like, Miss Hudson or Kyogoku knew.
Yeah.
Like, officially. I think they guessed, but I don't think, like, anyone they didn't officially know, like, ooh, he gave them a fake drive.
Because another thing is that they mentioned that Sherlock is a Baritza, something like that.
Yeah, that he is a master of Baritsu.
Yeah.
It's like this weird... So do you know what that is?
No, I have no idea what that is. That's why I was confused.
I know what it is, actually.
Oh.
That's why I'm asking, like, do you know what it is? I just assume people know things, like, random things that I just happen to know. Baritsu is just, like, this weird, like, kind of martial arts self-defense thing.
Oh.
It's like, yeah, it combines, like, boxing and jujitsu and, like, cane fighting. And, like, kickboxing or something. It's used by the actual Sherlock Holmes, like, in the books.
And they think that Sherlock knows that?
No, he does know it.
Oh.
Miss Hudson says, oh, no, he does know that, because Watson was like, oh, is he really kind of going to be, like, the best bodyguard? And she's like, oh, no, he's a master of, like, this. They'll be fine.
Wow. Okay.
But after that whole little weird thing happens, you see Watson is asleep on the couch in that same room, and the cat lands on him. It kind of chases him away from anywhere that he tries to sleep until he's just, like, sitting in a corner looking really sad. Because the cat has chased him.
Oh, yeah.
Off of everywhere. And then it shows you Sherlock and Irene. And Irene knows that Sherlock no longer cares about the password for the drive. That he's now interested in how he can use the drive to find Jack. So, like, he doesn't care what's on it anymore.
Yeah, I noticed that.
He just wants to use it. But in the morning, Watson shows up to clean. Because, like, what else does Watson do? Apparently. But he finds out, like, Irene has already cleaned. And that the apartment smells like roses. Which is her favorite perfume.
Yeah.
And that she made lunch. And Sherlock he gets kind of mad because he's like, tells her, he's like, I told you to put canned mango on it. And Watson's like, oh, I'll go get it. And Irene's like, oh, why don't you try it?
Oh,
the way it is.
I remember he said that he wanted some mango peels on it. Like
he wants canned mango.
Yeah, that's what it was. Canned mangoes on it. He
wants her to get canned mango, and then Watson's gonna go get it. And Irene's like, oh, why don't you just try it? And Sherlock ends up, like, loving it and eating it and being totally fine. And Watson kind of looks really sad.
You know, I had never tried mangoes on rice, but I don't think that's a bad idea.
It's not, but it's one of those things, like, you would have to put, like, a little bit, kind of like pineapple fried rice.
Yeah.
You can't use, like, too much or it gets, like, too sweet and too overpowering.
I never even tried pineapple fried rice.
It can be good. Okay. You have to get the, like, balance, I think, right, of, like, flavors.
Okay. I probably wouldn't mind that because I don't mind pineapple pizza. I actually like that.
Oh, I love pineapple pizza. Pineapple and jalapeno.
Okay, so yes.
That's the key.
Another person likes pineapple pizza.
I love pineapple pizza so much.
You better kill us with this podcast.
Yeah, and anyone who doesn't feel that can fight me. I love it. It's good. It's legit pizza. It is.
Yes.
I don't know what else to say about it.
Alright.
But so Watson is, like, walking down the street and he sees that, like, group of kids. And they're throwing water balloons onto drunks. Because they're, like, kind of on, like, an overpass and they're, like, throwing water balloons onto drunks. And they're calling it divine punishment.
I saw that and that was kind of like messed up because they threw it at the wrong person.
Yeah, no, it's messed up. And then Watson is sitting sadly in the park by himself. And Fuyuto's being weird by a vending machine.
Oh yeah, he's messing with the vending machine.
He's being super weird, and then Watson goes over and he's like, "Oh, Kyogoku, is that you?" And he's like, "No," he uses like a different, like deeper voice. He's like, "Oh no, you have the wrong person," and like tries to leave, and then he's like, "Oh, your money's still in the machine."
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, because then it transfers to both of them at Pipecat. And you find out that Kyogoku's going to ask someone on a date for the first time.
Yeah.
He also says he's not having kids till he's 32. Because he wants to prioritize his time with Maki.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because Watson's like, "Oh, I didn't know you like that type."
Oh,
and
yeah.
Kyogoku's just like, "Oh, I mean, yeah." So, here's an interesting question for you. I assumed, like, obviously, Maki's a dude.
Oh, yeah.
No, just because, like, where Maki hangs out and, like, who Maki hangs out with, and also just, like, they start, like, talking about, like, "Oh, are you sure it's not Prince?" So I'm like, obviously Maki's a dude.
Yeah.
And it's like, so Watson's saying, "Oh, that type," as in, like, "Oh, he didn't know Kyogoku's into dudes."
Oh, wait, so Watson knew about that?
Yeah. You can see it throughout this entire episode.
I thought Watson thought he wasn't actually a woman, but...
No, because there is a point later, which we'll also touch on again, but, like, later, when Kyogoku's dressed up as, like, a Disney prince, and he's like, "Oh, Maki's gonna be my princess," and he's like, "Are you sure you don't mean prince?" He's talking to Mary.
Oh.
At the bar.
Okay.
I also just guessed because, like, the three people that it always is, it's like Maki and those other two ladies, they're, like, very muscly, and one of them has a beard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know them too.
And I just assumed...
Are drag queens.
Yeah, that, like, the three of them together are all dudes. But, so my initial impression is I was like, what do you think Kyogoku thinks that Watson means when he says that type?
I think he was talking about, like, large women, something like that.
Okay.
I mean, she isn't, like...
That's what I thought.
She wasn't, like... I mean, she's not very fat, but she's, like...
She's drawn, like, round.
Round, I guess.
Like, rounder. Okay, so you thought the same thing that I thought.
Okay, so it's not wrong to think that way. I was thinking that way, too. It's like, oh, because she's plus size.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because he was, like, confused, and he, like, takes a second, and then he's like, "Well, of course I do." I was like, okay. And then it shows you Irene asking Sherlock to help her with something. She says she doesn't like to do it by herself, and then Sherlock starts doing that weird reciting thing that he was doing in the last episode.
Oh yeah, he did it again.
Which I know what it is. I remembered, and I looked it up, and then I was like, yeah, that's what I thought it was. It is the name of a character. I think the character's name is like Jugemo. It's from a Rakugo performance.
Yeah, I didn't put that name down.
Yeah, it's like a Rakugo thing, and it's used as a training tool, I think. And the reason that it's kind of considered funny is the whole thing that he's reciting is this person's, like, really long name. And it gets said many, many, many times throughout the performance. But so he's repeating this really long name. And then it weirdly cuts to Kyogoku's weird fantasy, which is him and Maki at the bar.
Yeah.
And she's kind of just being adorable generally. And he invites her to a hotel, and she says that she'll be with him till the end.
Yeah, that was funny.
In reality, Watson is reading Kyogoku's journal.
Yeah.
And Kyogoku says that he has run simulations for every possibility and that the battle is already won. Because he's a weirdo.
Which is something that no one does. At least I don't think so.
I feel like you think through scenarios, right?
Yeah,
like, you think through, like, oh, this could happen or this could happen.
Yeah, but I don't think you write it down and
you're not.
every situation
no one's that
possible.
weird. No one's that weird. But then Maki arrives at the bar, and Kyogoku just freaks out. And Mary says that Kyogoku is trying to ask Maki out. And she goes to leave, and as she's leaving, Mary tells her that Kyogoku has more money than she would think. So Maki immediately turns around and says that she'll go out with him.
I thought that was funny. How Mary's just like being straight up brutal in here.
Oh yeah, I love Mary in this episode. She's just kind of there as this odd kind of like third-party observer who's just like, oh yeah, he has a lot of money. Date him.
Yeah.
I like her.
Yeah, I loved her in this episode too. It was so funny.
My one question though is I was like, where is Lucy? Because they're usually together. And so just like, where is Lucy?
Oh yeah, she wasn't in this episode. I don't think so.
You know who's also not in this episode?
It was just Mary.
Do you know who's also not in this episode?
Oh god, not Michael Belmont.
Yeah, your favorite character. He's also not here. So then Moriarty walks into Sherlock's place, and Sherlock and Irene, I don't know what they're doing. They're doing something with like a shogi board. It looked like they're playing like we do in America with like the stick, with like pickup sticks, where it's like, oh, you can't knock certain things down.
Yeah, I forgot what that game is called.
Because he's like pulling one tile, and there's a bunch of other tiles kind of like crudely stacked on top of it.
Oh, you mean like Jenga?
Kind of, but less. It's like one where you take a bunch of sticks and you just drop them, and you have to kind of pick up sticks without knocking other ones over or something like that.
Yeah, that's how Jenga is.
No, but Jenga, you have to like take ones off the bottom and put them on the top. Yeah,
okay. So something else then.
Yeah, I think it's like a little bit just like more crude. Okay. Not crude in like a rude kind of way, just in like, it's not as like systematic, I think, as Jenga is. I don't think. I don't know though. But Irene tells Moriarty that Jack is after her, so she's staying at Sherlock's place. There's a lot of, I've noticed also, now that I'm looking back at this, in this episode, a lot of weird cuts of short scenes.
Yeah.
Do you notice that in this episode?
Yeah, they did do that a lot. I noticed the editing this episode was weird. Like,
yeah. I think it's because they're trying to tell you a lot of things very quickly.
Yeah.
Would you, yeah.
Information dump, basically.
Information dump, but like, it's not just a like, ooh, people telling stories. It's like you watching stuff happen, which weirdly makes it seem more okay.
Yeah, I think Sherlock is better at demonstrating than No Guns Life.
Good God. Aww. But, okay, so then the next short scene is Maki and Kyogoku are out shopping, and she is just kind of getting him to buy her a bunch of really expensive purses. Because she tells him, like, oh, I can't pick what color. And he weirdly, like, tries to grab her hand to, like, hold her hand, and he chickens out.
Yeah.
And then she's like, ooh, I want all the bags. And he was like, okay. Because he's a weirdo.
Yeah.
And then it immediately cuts to Watson eating cup noodle like a sad man alone in the outside. Sad, sad man.
You know, I always feel sad for Watson.
I love Watson. It's also because Watson is like the voice of the audience.
Yes.
He also just kind of goes where people tell him to go.
Yeah.
But those kids show up, they take a picture of him to add to their database of, I believe they literally call it, stray old men who live in the area.
Those kids are so rude.
They're great. Rude.
They always something rude that they're doing. It's like, oh my god, rude.
They're great. Because then Moriarty shows up, and he has Rakugo tickets for Sherlock.
I thought that was so sweet, but yeah, it was so sweet. I like that.
That he brought those for Sherlock?
Yeah.
Aww, Moriarty. Because then it cuts again.
Yes.
I feel like that's the key word for this episode. It cuts again to Moriarty arguing with Watson outside about who's going to go to the show. And Watson's like, oh, we can't leave Irene alone. And Irene's like, oh no, I can stay alone. And Moriarty's like, all right, dope, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets a call from Yoshio about an accident, and he runs away.
Yeah, he says Irene could go in his place. And it's like, nah, you say Irene could go?
Because then Irene immediately is ready to go. She's just like, all right, let's go. And she's got like a hat and sunglasses on. And then it cuts to Sherlock, Watson, and Irene returning home. And the place has just been ransacked. And there's a creepy doll stabbed to the wall with an ice pick with red wings painted around it. Which, obviously Jack the Ripper.
Oh yeah, that painting. The angel painting.
Yeah, because then Irene's asked Sherlock where's the drive, and he had the drive with him. And then he puts this weird mask on Irene.
Yeah, that was so weird. That mask.
And they're driving her away. And Sherlock says that she's going to go missing for a while. And they're taking her to a Kaneko recommended hideout. And it's an old abandoned movie theater.
It's funny because it's when they put that mask on Irene, it just makes you think what if you one of those people in the public scene seeing that? It's what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, no.
What are they doing that to a woman?
To them, you just be like, yes. What is happening? Or is it playing the game of be really outlandish out in public and people will avoid eye contact with you?
I can see that too.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So I guess it could go either way.
Yeah. So you learn that Watson, Sherlock, and Irene are the only people that know that she's hiding out there. And Irene asks them for some things. Watson offers to go shopping. Sherlock's like, no, I'll do it. Watson's like, oh, it's faster for us to split up. And Sherlock gets in his car and leaves. And then it cuts to Watson drinking at Pipe Cat. Kyogoku is chilling out.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like a Disney prince. He shows Watson that he has a giant diamond ring with him. And he's going to tell Maki that he loves her. But also that running all these simulations has hurt his stomach really bad. And so he runs to the bathroom.
That's what it was? I just thought that his stomach got sick because he was so nervous.
That's kind of what it is, I think. I think he was running simulations and that made him nervous.
I've never seen anyone have that reaction, but
I have.
Kyoko.
I've had people, okay. I've seen people get really sick because they're nervous or anxious.
Oh, okay.
I've seen that. It's usually really, really extreme.
Oh, wow.
But
okay.
in extreme levels of anxiety and stress. But I've seen it.
Okay. All right. I don't have a anxiety disorder, so I have no idea what that is like.
That's fair. But then Maki and her friends show up, and they're talking about Maki selling all of the bags that Kyogoku bought for her. And then Kyogoku gets out of the bathroom, and he gets down on one knee, and he asks Maki to let him hold her hand. And all of the other people are oh my god, there's a ring. And then they're Oh, it's only for that? What? Which, like, right, that's crazy.
Well, yeah, he, like, proposes to her.
But only to, like, hold her hand. He's, like, not asking to marry her.
But he has a ring.
He is saying he wants to hold her hand, not that, like, to marry her. That's what I took away from it. But he also could be talking about marriage. He's a little bit of a weirdo.
Oh, yeah. I think he is a weirdo. And who asks for marriage so soon?
Kyogoku. Because he's a weirdo. But then Maki, like, asks him why he's doing it for her, doing all this for her, and she's like, oh, is it for my body? And he says, like, no. And then she's like, oh, then why? And he says he wants her to be his bride. So I guess you're right now. I bet it is. I guess it is. He wants to marry her. Why else would you go all out?
Yeah.
He's a weirdo. But she says no. But she's like, not until they get to know each other better and they're going to date like a real couple.
Yeah, which I thought that was kind of sweet.
Yeah. So in that scene, though, is the point where he's like, I'm going to make her my bride and he's going to make her his princess.
Yeah.
And when Watson's drunk is when he's like sitting with Mary and he's like, wait, doesn't he mean prince?
I remember that. Mary says something really...
Yeah, Mary says something else.
Like really...
And I forgot. It's snarky.
Yeah, very snarky. I forgot what it was. I didn't put it down either.
I feel like it's probably something about like, oh, Kyogoku's too stupid. I like Mary.
Yeah, I started to like her here.
Kyogoku tells Watson not to be afraid of failure. And then Watson leaves. And then it cuts to you seeing Watson watching the movie theater with binoculars. And he texts Sherlock that he's going to do what he can to protect Irene.
Yeah.
And then I think Maki and Kyogoku have sex. I'm not super sure.
Yeah, this is the part where I thought was...
Where we were confused for a while, where we were like, I think they have sex. That's what I think.
Because I noticed at this scene, Maki is covering her
boobs?
Private area. No,
both. Yes.
She's covering the boobs and the other part as well.
That's true.
So I'm not sure if that meant anything or...
Also...
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, also, is it slightly irrelevant? Or no, it's kind of relevant, though.
Because I noticed another thing is that I don't know, because it's Kyogoku, he screams, and I'm not sure, it's like, maybe he fainted during that scene, because I know he screams like real loud.
He's a weirdo. That's the other thing, is like, you could tell me anything about Kyogoku and I would like believe it.
Because I was thinking maybe he fainted during sex, so he didn't really have sex with her, and he's just like...
Maybe.
He thought he had sex with her.
I don't know. He's a weirdo. I would believe either version.
Or maybe he thinks he's inserting the vagina, but he's really putting his penis in the butthole.
I mean, also, obviously he thinks that Maki's a lady. He thinks that Maki's not a dude. So, like, he's confused already. Like, he's a dum-dum and he's confused already.
Yeah, he's a virgin, so it's fine.
Sad little baby.
Isn't it odd? The virgin prince.
Aw, Kyogoku. Sad little baby. He's so weird.
Yeah, you like him.
I love him. You like him now, too.
I know.
Don't make it sound like it's only me.
It's true. Because I keep forgetting that I like him. It's like
to be fair,
I'm not used to liking him. That's what it is.
That's fair. And to be fair, I have liked him since I first saw him.
Yeah.
I saw a picture of him and I was like, ooh, I'm going to like this guy.
He's
And I was
so
like,
pathetic.
he kind of looks like an asshole, and he's got glasses. I was like, that generally tends to be the character that I like. If you find the character with glasses in most anime, if they're tall and they kind of look like an asshole, they're probably my favorite character.
Oh.
I love Tsukushima and Haikyuu, and he is tall, he has glasses, he's also an asshole.
I don't think Kyoko is an asshole, though.
No, he's just
He's more...
weird. Just weirdest man ever. But after that weird, confusing scene that we're confused about...
Yes, very confused.
It cuts to Watson being attacked by a guy in a, black jacket and a hood, and he's saved by Sherlock. And Sherlock chases the man, and Watson goes to Irene. And it cuts to, Irene is watching a movie. There's a lot of cuts in this, I feel like, this, next, even just, 3 minutes of the show. There's just, so many cuts, because it cuts to Irene watching the movie, and then it cuts to Sherlock passing the kids when he's chasing the man, and tells them, Operation Tug of War. And they run off. And it cuts back to Irene, and there's a knock at the theater door, and there's a voice that says, Jack got Moriarty. And so it cuts, and the kids trip the guy that Sherlock is chasing, and it's just some random old man. The girl finds him in their database of stray old men that live in the area. And then it cuts, and there's a police officer who has a knife on Irene. Saying, he's like, you need to give back the egg. And then it cuts to Watson kind of running, and then he gets to the theater, and Irene is stabbed, and Moriarty is with her. And then Moriarty's like, oh, it was Jack? And he's like, I'll go get him, and he chases after him. And Watson is trying to stop the bleeding, and he calls an ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
And then it cuts to Sherlock is back at his apartment in front of the creepy Jack art. And Moriarty's on the couch, looking just kind of exhausted, generally. And then Watson gets there, and he asks about Jack, and just Moriarty just shakes his head. And he says, oh, Irene's at the hospital being treated. And Sherlock says, oh, I got word that Irene is dead. And then it's just kind of Watson looking at Moriarty in a very suspicious fashion.
Yes.
And that's where it ends.
Yeah. When I saw this episode, I really did like this episode. It was very suspenseful. This is the best episode when I was watching it. And the crazy thing is that when I saw that Irene had gotten stabbed by Jack the Ripper, I was feeling kind of sad to find out Irene got stabbed so quickly, and thinking oh wow, I didn't think he was a killer so fast.
Oh, Irene.
Because I was really liking Irene, and it's just this episode made me feel for her, and it's just this episode did a better feel for a character than No Gun's life. But whatever. I just realized that.
No, I'm telling you, it's an interesting pairing that we've chosen. But
yeah.
So you like this episode?
I love this episode. This episode's a 9 for me. But I love this episode because it really made me think that that you were right, Jen, at that moment that Moriarty was Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper.
It made me think that.
All of the clues.
I saw that, and it's and it made it seem because they really made it convincing that Watson thinks that way too.
Oh yeah, and then because Watson is the voice of the audience.
Yes.
In his
I can see that
bright-eyed dumbness. That man's bright-eyed dumbness.
Yeah. But Kyokoku is like the comedy reel of this episode.
Oh, Kyogoku, baby boy. He is dressed so stupid.
He looked like Prince Charming from like, I think, Cinderella.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh my god.
Oh. So, it's weird though. So, like, we both love this episode.
Yes.
But I don't feel like there's a lot to say about this episode other than, like, this was really good because anything we want to say spoils, like, the next 2 episodes.
Yeah, that's what I felt like with No Gunslide. That's why I had the problem.
And that's why I'm like, I feel like these are just going to be short episodes because we're just kind of like, all right, let's do the next ones. Let's go. Is there anything else you want to say about this one? I can't think of anything else to say because everything I want to say.
Well, I'm starting to like the two drag queens that hang out because I don't know what the names are.
I don't know their names either.
They're starting to be really fun, entertaining characters, I noticed, in this episode, but I want to know more about them.
See? And they hang out with Miss Hudson, right? So we just need an episode that talks about Miss Hudson and her life.
Yeah, and about her friends.
That could be the rest of the season. I would be happy with that. Tell me everything about Miss Hudson. Everything ever. That's all I want to know now.
And they thought the whole entire thing about Maki and Kyokoku was so cute.
But it wasn't even that it was cute, though. It's also that they're like, ooh, I want someone to, like, pay for all my stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like, oh, this is cute. It's like, ooh, I want someone to pay for all my stuff.
It's like, I wish someone could do this for me.
And I was like, oh, Kyokoku. Poor little baby. He just having the hardest little life.
Asking her to marry already.
Him or let him hold her hand.
In 2 days, yeah.
So that's why. So the reason I thought it was hold her hand was because one of the friends was like, oh, what, a diamond ring just for that? I'll do that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But
I wasn't
I don't know.
I don't know, but it still seems awkward that we give her a ring.
But he's awkward. He's awkward and weird. He doesn't know shit.
Yeah. Poor Kyokoku.
Poor little dude. Just has the hardest little life.
Oh my god.
Is there anything else for this one? Or is this it for this episode?
You know what's kind of weird that they chose Jack the Ripper to dress as a cop in this episode, I think.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay. I guess they chose a cop because maybe Irene would have never
gotten that caught. Immediate trust of cops that we're supposed to have.
Yeah.
Keyword supposed to. Yeah,
I know. Because now these days cops could do anything.
Yeah, no one trusts cops anymore. Weird.
Yeah. Not in America, yeah, definitely
that's true.
Not.
Well, I guess that's really all we have to say about this one. This is also a short one. But thank you for listening. Subscribe on whatever you listen on. We'll set up a Twitter one day.
Yeah.
When we cement in a name.
Yeah.
I guess that's
pretty
all.
Much.
Yeah, right? I guess that's all. So, bye.
Bye.